What is up, everybody? In today's video, we fertilize everything. All right, guys, so one thing I've learned over the years is fertilizer is your friend. And don't get me wrong, I am one of the cheapest guys, and I've tried to get by the best I can get by without fertilizer for years. And what I've learned is over the years, you'll see the difference. Today, I'm going to hit 3 different species around my food plot here to make that cover around the food plot thicker. And I'm also doing clover. So first up, the switchgrass. Guys, I think this is year 5 for established switchgrass. And this is the first time I've decided, you know what, I'm going to come in here in the spring and I'm going to hit this with some fertilizer. Well, switchgrass doesn't have to be fertilized, but I want the tallest, strongest switchgrass I can get. And there's no better time than to strengthen that than in here in the spring. Rain's coming. I'm going to hit it with some straight nitrogen. I got some 3200. So that's the first thing we're going to hit. Second thing we're going to hit is the miscanthus planting. So back several years ago, probably 4 years ago now, I planted miscanthus. Mixed on it. It did good in the beginning. We had a horrible drought. I lost probably half of the miscanthus, maybe even a little more than half, but it's still here. And it's an actual screening for this stand right here. And then I have established clover in my food plot. And if many of you guys follow me along, I kind of backed away from clover for the last couple years. I was a constant clover guy. I've been a clover guy since the year 2000. And I planted it almost every year up until about 21. And I wanted to try to do different things. So in 21, I did some clover with some other stuff. And then I went almost all the way to cereal grains the last 2 years and just backed off clover completely. Well, what happens there is the clover is my spring and summertime food plot, if you will. And I kind of let that go. And honestly, I kind of feel like my deer numbers have been down because of it. So this fall, or last fall, I should say, I added clover to my fall food plot planting here in this front food plot. And I've got a pretty good stand of it. So I'm going to come in here and add 0-20-20 to my clover fertilizer. Once this rain hits it, guys, it will make it jump. It makes a huge difference with the clover just taking root better, surviving later into the summer. Over the years, this has proven to work. I would hit it in the spring, mow it, hit it in the spring, mow it, leave it be through the summer, and then come fall, hit it again and have that really good food plot right there at the first part of deer season. And the only reason I got away from that is cereal grains can be a little more attractive and carry their attractiveness on into the season later. Usually when you get that first frost, clover will stop growing. And once it's not as delicate and growing, it's not as palatable to deer maybe, or as attractive. They'll still come eat it, don't get me wrong, but that's why I flip-flopped to cereal grains. But now I'm going to try to merge them both again like I used to do. And I've established this summertime food plot attraction again to see if my numbers actually come up. So today, 0-20-20 for my clover. We're going to do that. And then 3200 for my miscanthus planting and my switchgrass, knowing that I've got a bunch of chances of rain. There's like, in the next 10 days, there's a bunch of chances of rain in there. So surely we'll get one of those, maybe 2. And then coming up, probably in our next video, I am going to be doing a plot screen, and I'll be doing it the poor man's way, if you will. Minimal equipment, just a seeder, a hand seeder, and some fertilizer. And I've got 19 for that to get that established. So once that seed gets here, I'm probably going to go ahead and get that planted. Hopefully we're not too wet. It's a little tough when it's too wet for plot screen. But anyway, that's what we're doing today, guys. So we're going to jump right in. All right, guys, so this is my switchgrass right here. I probably got 1.5 acres or so of switch that goes around this food plot on, I would say 2/3 of it, maybe 3/4. I do have a section down there that's not covered by switch. And so I'm going to hit this. I got 1 bag of the 3200, and I'm going to hit this thing. I'm going to hit it fairly light because this is actually the second application of fertilizer that I've actually done. I did one about a month ago. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of lightly hit this again, knowing we have all this rain coming. All right, guys, so I want to show you a fed switchgrass clump and a struggling switchgrass clump. So that's why reason I went ahead and pulled the trigger on hitting it again, because I got some of this mixed in. Some of this guy that's, you know, he's quite a bit smaller. He's the lighter color green, which means that it's struggling a little more. So we want him looking like this guy. Guys, something I like to do that's a little different. It takes time to do it. Switchgrass doesn't come in right away, but I like to make little fingers like this to kind of divide up the food plot in sections. That stuff will get 3, 4, 5 feet tall, and it's kind of like a fence. So, you know, like this side I'll do peas, and this side I'll do, you know, some kind of cereal grain. But I like to just spread it all around and change it up. Don't really know if it helps, but I like the aesthetic, so that's why I do it. All right, guys, right here is the miscanthus. And again, I mow this down every year. So this is year 4 or 5 on this stuff. I was disappointed with it about year 2. I really didn't get much thicker, but if you can see, it comes in, it gets really tall. It's probably 6, 7 feet tall. It's getting thicker still, so it hasn't completely died out yet. So I'm going to hit this too with a little bit of fertilizer. And just give it that boost for all this rain that's coming. All right, guys, got the switchgrass and the miscanthus hit again with some fertilizer. Not something you have to do, but I've learned over the years that that little bit of fertilizer timed right with the rain here in spring when it's just actively growing can really shoot that stuff up. And, you know, guys think, well, it's, you know, I'm going to plant a food plot this fall. And, you know, if you'll put in some groundwork early and get the cover around your food plot thicker, more bucks in the daylight. That's what seems to happen. So moving on, guys, we're going to go into this clover. And I mowed this yesterday with a 0 turn, and I'm going to come in here right now and hit it. Typically you don't want to mow it, but it is not hot and dry before you put fertilizer on it. I think it'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the 0-20-20, and it's this shoot here and then the entire 1 acre food plot below where I frost seeded. So I'm going to get that fertilizer in now. All right, guys, so established clover does not need nitrogen. So that's why we got the 0-20-20 today. Let's get it put in. All right, guys, so I don't know if you can see that very well, but this is all frost seeded. So all this clover that's coming in here is all frost seeded clover. And it's doing pretty well. I mean, you can tell it's doing okay. There's some sun here. But I think with this shot of fertilizer, the 0-20-20, really ought to give it that boost it needs, especially if we get these rains that'll overtake. I'm probably about 40 or 50% clover right here off of a frost seed from this year. So that's pretty good. And then the spots where I actually planted last fall are solid. So this fertilizer really ought to make it jump. All right, guys, got it all finished up. Hey, it's worth a shot. I probably had 65, 70 bucks in this. 2 bags of fertilizer. Help that switchgrass. Help that miscanthus. Get that clover popping. It's all a game, right? All we're trying to do is get them bucks here. You know, I feel like I'm one of them guys that, you know, you get them bachelor groups in the summertime, checking out the old food plot, they remember. And hopefully they'll come back during hunting season and it all pays off. Guys, if you're not out there working, you're getting behind. Get ahead of the neighbors, get ahead of everybody else, get out there and get some work done. Try the fertilizer, guys, if you haven't tried it. I've even had success fertilizing weeds around a food plot for screening. It works. Guys, I thank y'all for watching as always. Hey, if you like this content, let me know. I will do a follow-up video on this spot here to show you guys probably in a month or so how the switchgrass is doing, the miscanthus is doing, and the clover is doing. I'm also going to be working on a video, guys, showing you my plot layout here, kind of how I do things. My way is not the right way or the only way. It's just one of the ways, guys. And I'll take some time and show y'all how I've got everything laid out and what my plan is for every season. As always, guys, I want to thank y'all for watching. And as always, God bless.